1. So first off, to understand the situation, I live together with my roommate and our 3 cats. Our work regarding the cats is equally split. I feed them and do everything that has to do with them except the litter box. I am still recovering from different trauma and problems, and immediately start to cry and throw up once I try to clean it. My roommate, for that, can't smell the wet food for them, so it works out pretty well. So we have me and our neighbor, our entitled mother. We live in a new flat and moved in a bit more than a year ago, and she moved in with her 3 kids about 2 months after. We got to know each other because every time I see a neighbor needing help, I always ask if I can do something for them. Stuff like groceries too heavy. Let me lend you a hand. Oh, your kinderwagen is too heavy to get up to your floor? I'll help you get it up. And exactly like that, we got to know each other. For a while, I even considered her my friend. I did a lot of free babysitting for her, and we watched her cats every time she was on holiday. To finally get to the point, my roommate was not home for around 5 days, and I was sick with a high fever. So he asked her if she could do the litter box once a day until he is back, because I definitely wasn't able to keep up with it. It wasn't a problem, and the first 2 days it went quite well. I was still asleep, and she did it. Day 3 of 5 arrives, and I actually was up, and managed to get on the couch because my bed by now was not that nice anymore, thanks to all the sweating. She comes in, and stuff is fine. She brought one of her kids with her, and we talked shortly. I joked around with the kid, and everything was fine. Until I saw that she went and took one of our biggest trash bags to make the litter box, instead of the small ones we actually have for that. The following conversation came. "Oh, hey, those are the wrong trash bags. Could you please use the ones laying on this small counter there?"
"Why should I do that? I used them the last days too."
Yeah, I didn't see that since I'm mostly slept since I'm sick. At this point, she cut me off.
"Well, you don't look too sick."
She went on and opened the big trash bag. I stand up wobbly at that point. Yeah, well, because I mostly only slept for days now. I gave her the smaller trash bags. Or, well, I tried.
"Yeah, I'm not gonna use those. I have this one already opened."
To be honest, the rest of the conversation is kind of fuzzy since my fever went up again. But all I know is that we ended up screaming at each other. Now she keeps on telling her kids what a disgusting person I am, and keeps on posting aggressive notes directed at me everywhere she thinks I might see it. I won't lie, this is still annoying me so much I could cry. I liked her kids and got along with them, but to be honest, by what I know now, I only feel bad for them. Growing up with a mother that can't even talk in a normal volume. To clarify for anyone who might be wondering, my roommate and I are both on the autism spectrum. And sometimes something as small as which trash bag to use can actually mess with our heads badly. 2. This happened a few weeks back, and I was really hesitant to share it. I'm hoping that Karen doesn't recognize herself. Here it is. I'm 23 years old and non-binary. I was browsing in a shopping center with my autism service dog, Knox, 1-year-old female, as a training. I was picking clothes and trying them on, hoping that at the end of the training, I'd find something that suits my style. As I was entering another alternative clothes store, Karen tapped me on the shoulder.
"You know the dogs aren't allowed in this store, right?"
I'm visibly confused. I'm sorry.
"Are you deaf? I said that you need to leave."
I point to Knox's vest showing the label and the program name that certified her. "Ma'am, this is a service dog.
You're clearly not disabled, even less you're not autistic. You can talk. Now leave this store before I call security and get you banned."
I'm barely holding my tears in. "Excuse me, please."
"No, I'm going to walk you to the exit to be sure that you and your dog are leaving."
In this moment, Knox is alerted. I need to sit down, but I couldn't. Everything was loud, and it seemed like the lights were getting even brighter. I started crying, and Knox moved between my legs for comfort. I'm sobbing and repeating, "Go away." Karen talking over me. She tells me to grow up, and it's a mishmash of words. An autistic, no-verbal scam dog trained. My ID, more. Her speech became more and more muffled as I got more overwhelmed. I attempted to sit on the ground, and Karen grabbed my arm.
"Do not touch me!"
If up to this moment we didn't have a crowd, now we certainly did. A security guard appeared. I calmed a bit, enough to understand speech. What's happening?
This person over here is faking. They've scammed a program to give them a service dog for their autism. My child will benefit more as they really have autism and don't speak. I need that dog.
As she was saying that, I felt a tug on Nox's leash, and I unclipped her from her collar. Now I was holding Nox from her harness, and she was sitting right in front of me, giving me gentle snuggles and kisses.
How dare you? Security guard, do something.
The guard turned to me. Mister, is that dog a service dog?
Yes. They do not need it.
Shush. Do you have an ID for the dog, and can I have yours?
Yes.
I gave the security guard the needed documents. They checked them and gave them back. I'm not from the US or UK. There's no such thing as owner-trained service dogs. Service dogs are trained by professional trainers and are free. There are requirements that need to be met, such as diagnosis and/or an interview with a medical team or lead therapist. Your documents are intact. You may go.
No, that's not fair. My kid needs that dog more than this adult.
Ma'am, I will ask you to return the leash to this gentleman and continue your day.
No, this is my service dog that they're now holding.
Ma'am, that is theft. If you do not return the leash now, I'm afraid I'll have to call the police. Karen handed the leash to the guard, who gave it back to me. I was escorted to the restroom by the guard to make sure Karen didn't continue to harass me. I washed my face and went to the nearest bench to sit and calm down a bit more, then I left. Three. So when I was in elementary school, before I moved, I was really good friends with a girl named Lara. She was easily my best friend. I ended up moving after 4th grade and lost contact with all my friends until 7th grade. I found Lara on Facebook, and me and her started talking immediately and catching up. I asked her if she wanted to hang out at a skate-in one night to catch up even more and just hang out like old times. She agreed and we met up and talked a bit. Sometime through the hangout, I started feeling really sick and cancelled and apologized multiple times. I thought everything was well until Lara wasn't responding, so I decided to just let it go for now and get back home and relax. Later that night, I get a knock at my door and my mom comes in. Do you know why Lara's mom is so mad right now? I was confused and my mom just laughed and started to read out what she sent her. Lara is a complete mess. Your son asked her on a date only to cancel halfway through because he was feeling sick. She didn't talk on the entire way home, then immediately locked herself in her room crying. How dare your son do this to my baby? I demand that he sends her a full apology and starts dating her immediately. And he comes over with flowers and takes her to see a movie. I was so confused. I already told Lara that I didn't want to date yet because I got out of a relationship and it was nothing but drama. My mom responded to her saying he says he doesn't want to date right now. He just wanted to hang out with his friends. I'm not going to force him to do anything he doesn't want to. He already apologized to her while he was there, and over texting. OP has issues with his stomach sometimes and he cannot control it and it gives him a lot of pain. He still wants to hang out with Lara, but it might be a while since he has school, and he has practice this weekend. EM responded with, I don't care. He will be taking her out, and he will call her over the phone right now and apologize. I'll be setting up all their dates from now on. My mom just laughed and said, what a nut. I did end up calling Lara and apologizing to her and explained my side, but she brought up how I did not want to date yet. Wrong move. That's when I hear EM say, you selfish brat, you will take my daughter out this weekend or I'll make your life a living hell. My mom was right next to me when she said, give me the phone. She left and was gone for almost an hour. When she came back, I still don't know what happened over the phone, but she said I don't have to worry about it anymore. I thought it was over. The next morning I wake up to over 100 plus messages from Lara's family and Lara apologizing over and over. Apparently, after EM and my mom got off the phone, her mom went omega mode and started calling family to pretty much bully me into dating her daughter and telling me how rude and disgusting I am for taking advantage of Lara. I told my mom and she took my phone and contacted EM and told me to wait in my room. About half an hour later, she comes in and tells me to block everyone but Lara, which I do. And I tell Lara it's okay and I'm not mad at her but need a break from talking to her. I didn't talk to her for a while and never heard from EM after that. 4. So I worked at a terrible place fresh out of college as a recruiter for a school. Info sessions, presentations, accepting students. More of a call person than anything else. Now a mother and son came in, and they both reeked of the devil's lettuce. And the mother started gushing about how her son was really smart, and how he is a genius and only had a bit of a dip in his junior year when it came to grades. I told them a bit about the school, and she said confidently that since she is a security guard at the school, that we can get her son accepted. I explained that it's nice that she works here, but it's based around his application. She kinda huffed and said, "I know how this works." I asked for his transcript, and she handed it to me, and they both more or less sprinted out of the room. I opened it, and the kid had all D's and F's. He missed over 30 days every year of school, and the letter of recommendation he had was the teacher saying they didn't think the kid was ready for college. I reached out and said they weren't admissible, but we can wait to see improvement. We would consider him later. The mother came in screeching about how disrespectful I am, and I'm not giving her son a chance. For over an hour, this woman yelled at me about how her kid is intelligent, and that she knows we let students in of people who work here. My AH supervisor swings in and asks what the problem is. This supervisor is known for making promises, and before I can explain, the Karen starts screeching the same things. My supervisor promised her that she can get this sorted out and get her son admitted. Supervisor asks that she speak to me, and she started yelling at me, and that we should have accommodated this student and mother. I showed her the transcript, and then her tone changed. She then started berating me that I should be clear that the son isn't admissible, and I clearly didn't communicate that the first time. After this lady pestered literally 7 different higher-ups, Karen won. There was a meeting of me and my supervisor and another higher-up with this woman, and the agreement was that he would get in, and in all classes he takes, he has to get a B or above. The woman smirked and sneered about how I'm glad we can come to an understanding. Fast forward 5 months. Mother comes in with a scowl and throws the transcript at me. I open it, and this kid dropped 3 of his classes due to academic dissatisfaction and too many days absent. One class he got a D, and in one class he got an F. She started saying that we set her kid up to fail. Another meeting was held, and her kid was dropped from the school and went to a community college. The mother still gave me dirty looks every time I saw her. 5. I am the food and beverage manager at a hotel that's right next to one of the most beautiful mountains in my country. That said, the hotel is literally in the buttfuck middle of nowhere, a 20-kilometer drive from the nearest main road into town. When it comes to bookings for the restaurant, the bookings are made at reception and the information goes in our booking file, which I check every day. I only get hands-on involved when the booking consists of 20 or more people. Any less than that are left to the restaurant supervisors, as I have started giving them more responsibilities. Now on to the main story. Our reservations manager called me in one day, asking me to come and take a look at an event that was just booked at our hotel. 25 guests. A woman, our entitled daughter, wants to have a birthday celebration for her mother's 52nd birthday. I think, easy peasy. I got in touch with her. I sent her my wine and drinks list. She chooses what she wants and prepays for the drinks. Easy $7,000. A week goes by, and I get called by our reservations manager. The lady has upped her booking to 50 guests now. Immediately I'm thinking, oh shit. The space she reserved for her celebration can hold maybe 40 people max. And she is bringing a few children as well. I get in touch with her again, explain that we will have to move her to our main restaurant area, as the West Wing won't accommodate all her guests. I advise her that she can gladly choose our private venue, which is downstairs mainly for conferences, but will have to pay an additional $7,000 venue hire. She opted for the restaurant. Side note, I mentioned the conference space as she wanted identical tables and chairs. Our restaurant has a mix of styles. I absolutely hate it, but anyway. I let her know that will be fine, and then I ask her if she wants to keep her buffet option the same, to finalize what is due to cater for the additional people attending. She lets me know that she wants it the same as her original option, and I must just let her know what else is outstanding so she can pay it. I'm thinking, great, awesome client, will be a smooth evening as we're getting the finer details done 2 weeks prior. But would I be telling you this if that were the case? I chat to the reservations manager, we reconcile her POPs, and get a final amount due. I call the guest back and let her know that about $8,000 is due. She is absolutely shocked and asks, "But why so much?" This is how the conversation went. "Ma'am, you've only paid $5,000 so far, excluding your drinks. The total amount for the food is $13,250. But I've already paid so much money. Why am I being charged so much for the food?" "You will be having 50 guests, and the buffet option you have chosen is $265 per person. This comes to $13,250. With you already having paid $5,000, that leaves $8,250 due." No, then something wasn't explained to me properly. When I spoke to the RM, she said the buffet option that I chose, I only have to pay for 30 guests, and then I can add people on if I want. I'm trying to comprehend what this grown woman just said to me. "Ma'am, the buffet option you chose can only be provided if your booking is 30 people minimum. Then every person you add to that is charged on top of that." No, OP, this was not explained to me properly. I literally facepalmed myself. Our RM has been doing her job beautifully for the last 6+ years, so at this point, I was highly doubting that she explained it in the way Edie was saying. But I gave her the benefit of the doubt, ruling it out to simple miscommunication. We'll get it sorted, right? Wrong. She finally accepts that she has to pay the remaining balance, but gives me the silent treatment after that. Over the next 2 weeks, I text her about certain details I just want to confirm, but she never responded. Then the event rolls around yesterday. Supervisor 1 and myself set the restaurant up neatly, moved some other tables upstairs to our loft area so that our in-house guests can have a space for dinner without being bothered by the celebration in the main restaurant. The entitled daughter finally shows up at around 11 a.m. with her decorator to get the final touches done. She is very happy with the space, compliments our service, and keeps calling me sweetie. Ugh. And then we leave her and the decorating team to do their thing so that we can get the lunch and dinner setups done. I'm nearing an 8-hour shift by the time I can finally sit down and just eat, having worked 12 days in a row with multiple double shifts, and suffice to say, I'm a little cranky. I do my own scheduling. I'm working a lot due to being understaffed in the restaurant, so I'm there a lot to help my staff. I took one bite of my food and the office phone rings. I see that it's the front desk's extension. I answer. "Hi, OP. Entitled daughter wants to speak to you." I'm trying not to cry. "Okay, I'll be there now." I put my pizza slice down, take a sip of my Red Bull, and trot off to reception. I spot the entitled daughter standing at reception, looking absolutely defeated. I put on my best customer service smile and speak in a sickly sweet voice. "Hi, ma'am, is everything all right?" "No, OP. I'm just being told now I cannot bring my DJ." I stand there dumbfounded. Why was I not told before that I cannot bring a DJ? I've already paid for him, and I don't think I will get my money back as he's already on his way here. "Ma'am, you never mentioned that you were bringing a DJ." "No, OP, I did. When I did the walk around with the reservations manager, I mentioned that I was going to bring a DJ, and she said it was fine. I've wasted more money now." I give a quick glance toward the front office manager, a silent plea. And now the front office manager is being so rude to me, making me feel like I'm stupid, telling me that it's a public area and obviously a DJ would be a problem. I just look at her, nodding. What am I going to do now? I guide her away from reception, explaining that because this is a hotel, we cannot accommodate a DJ in the restaurant, as we have guests that would be disturbed by the music. We have to take our other guests into consideration. She sighs, puts her hand in front of her mouth, and just says, "Is there any way we can get the DJ here?" I tell her the best I can do is create a playlist for her on our sound system in the restaurant. She accepts this, begrudgingly, and wanders off to her decorating team. I should have looked to the front office manager again, and I see her smirking. I love that woman's no-nonsense attitude. I disappear to my office again, my pizza cold by now, and just frown. I plop down in my chair and shuffle my pizza into my mouth, trying to also get as much work done as possible before the start of the event at 4 p.m. so that I can be present on the floor. 4 p.m. rolls around. I'm exhausted. Having worked 10 hours already, I just need to stay around for an hour to make sure everything is fine. Then I can slip away. Psych! We set out 58 plates, 50 guests, and 8 children, as was confirmed, and we let the party begin. They are loud. Oh my god. Supervisor 1, Supervisor 2, and myself have to constantly ask for music to be put softer for them not to scream that we have guests in the loft area. But this falls on deaf ears. Supervisor 2 eventually said that if they continue to be too loud, we will have to ask them to leave. This finally kicks in. They tone it down. I make sure my staff are okay and head off for the night. I have accommodation in the hotel, as I was placed here on a temporary contract to fix the food and beverage department, to then be transferred to a hotel in the same group in my city about 4 hours away. I try to relax as much as possible, but knowing I have a proper Karen on my hands, I only stayed away for about an hour. I got dressed in casual clothes and headed back to the restaurant. What I saw nearly gave me a heart attack. That and the 3 Red Bulls I've already had by that point. There were easily 60 people flocked in the restaurant, not the 50 that were paid for. I walked into the kitchen and the chefs are visibly panicking. They can't keep up with the amount of food that's being needed to replenish the buffet station. "OP, there are more than 70 people. What is going on?" says the executive chef. So, after the executive chef was practically pooping her pants, I went to the front office manager's office with a look that screamed, "Emergency!" I told her that there are way too many people in there. She calmed me down. I too can be a drama queen. And grabbed 2 cigarettes for us to quickly go smoke. Once back inside, we went upstairs to the loft area that overlooks the restaurant. We did a walkabout and did a head count each. She counted 72, I counted 74. But I was absolutely exhausted, so I could have been wrong. She counted again, 72. At that point, the front office manager was so tired of this woman and her antics, calling her a chance taker, that she just burst out laughing. The front office manager and I went to her office. On the way, looking out for the entitled daughter so I could discuss the extra attendees. Could not find her at all. It was a themed event and every single person wore white, a sea of fucking snow almost. I shot her a text explaining that we have done a head count, and now the additional buffets needed to be rung up on her docket, and she needs to pay the balance so that we can settle it on the point of sale. I finally spotted her through the tinted window between the office and reception, phone ever so gracefully lighting up her face. She squinted at her phone screen some more, whispered to the person next to her, then called Supervisor 2 over to her. Oh boy, here we go. I chat some more with the front office manager, and Supervisor 2 walks in, almost laughing. "OP, entitled daughter's asking for you." I grin at the front office manager, and she just wishes me luck. I walk over to our lounge area to the reception where the entitled daughter is sitting with 3 other ladies, one of which was wearing a big puffy white dress similar to a wedding dress. "Ah, you must be the guest of honor." "OP, I am stressing about this bill now. I was having such a great night, and now I feel it's just spoiled." I look at her holding the check, a nice fat 24,000-something bucks in bold. I snicker to myself. This check was her drinks and all the buffets. Ma'am, you informed us that you would be attending with 50 guests. We have to charge you for the food that your guests have eaten. Thank fuck that we always do keep a fair amount of food in the fridge, as in case of emergency. Because we can just suddenly have a party of 20 people wanting to have lunch on a lastminute.com walk-in. But OP, the point of the buffet is that it's all you can eat. The food run out so quickly. Ma'am, with all due respect, it would run out quickly due to having to cater for over 70 people instead of 50. We catered for 50 people, having at least 2.5 portions each. That's an extra 50-odd portions that were unexpectedly needed. This is where the entitled mother finally steps up. The entitled mother in her big poofy dress, looking down at me. This is not right. My daughter had paid a lot of money and she's still treated poorly. Your service staff are disgustingly rude. That lady, the front office manager, is so rude, and it's just shocking. Yes, OP. I don't have this kind of money. And with all my money being wasted on that DJ, and that I could not get here, I will only be able to pay on the 31st, 4 days after the event. My eyes widen a little at the sudden hostility, as I felt I have been very respectful and have been trying to resolve this amicably. Unfortunately, you will have to settle the balance before you leave the premises, whether that be when you check out tomorrow or leave tonight. We cannot allow you off the property without paying. EM huffs and puffs and says something to her daughter in a language that I do not understand. Very common spoken language here, but I'm part of the minority that doesn't speak it. I speak to the front office manager and supervisor too that she needs to sign her bill before she leaves the restaurant. I'm mentally drained, and I peace out for the night. Next morning, a new day full of opportunities to resolve the bitterness from last night, and a new day full of promising drama. I am up early, get dressed, and head for the restaurant. It is super quiet, and I make myself the most god-awful cappuccino I've ever made in my life. I get to work, chat with the executive chef, and being typical women, we gossip about the previous night. And always remember, speak of the devil, and you shall step on his tail. My office phone rings, it's reception. I giggle as I answer, eager for some drama, but alas, I was not blessed. The security at the main gate gives each guest a slip with a gate code for when they leave. When a guest loses their slip, a senior manager has to escort the guest to the main gate, confirm that the guest has stayed at the hotel, sign their new slip, and off everyone goes. I am as lazy as fuck. I refuse to walk the 500 meters or 600 meter way, so I go to my hotel room, get my car keys, and drive to the main gate. Oh Lord, do I start drooling. It's the wine-colored Mustang GT that front office manager and I have been eyeing every time we went to smoke. Just pure chef's kiss perfection. Security lets them out. I wish them a pleasant trip and drive back to the hotel. I forgot my cigarettes in my hotel room that morning, so I informed the executive chef that I'm taking my keys back to my room and grabbing my smokes, and then I want to go fucking smoke. It's nearly 10 a.m. and I need nicotine. On my way to my room, I pass reception. Oh God. There's an entitled daughter, entitled mother, and an entitled friend. Entitled friend spots me, little white lady that's been so accommodating to our every insufferable need, and snaps her fingers at me, beckoning me over like a mutt. I stick on a smile, just desperate to go smoke, rather wanting to put a fire out with my face than talk with this piece of work.
You need to do something about the front office manager. She is the rudest person I've ever dealt with. You need to speak to her, teach her how to treat guests.
I calmly raise my hands, asking her to please keep her voice down, and to please explain what happened. She practically spits out a repetition of what she just said. I ask to be excused and slip into the front office manager's office. She is just smirking. This is what she told me happened when I was letting the guest out at the main gate. Receptionist number 2 was helping them finalize payments so that they can get out, and just leave to be Death Eaters elsewhere. Front office manager hears a slight commotion start up, and goes to the front desk to ask if she can be of assistance. Entitled mother, entitled daughter, and entitled friend just unleash at her, saying that she must not even speak to them. She's rude, and entitled friend even dared her to come around to this side of the desk. Recording front office manager and threatening to post our terrible hotel on Twitter. Fuck, not Twitter. Front office manager ignored everything after that and stepped back into her office. We contacted the director of operations for our group and explained the whole story. I actually heard him laugh through the earpiece. Front office manager grabs OD's business card, hands it to me, and asks me to give it to them, to email him directly about all their concerns. When I stepped out to hand it to them, explaining that we had spoken to OD with a slight smile on my face, the entitled friend looks defeated at this point, taking the card, and sets it down on the counter and just walks away. In the beginning, they tried to pay less for more people, got caught, then still brought more people thereafter. Then it turned to excuses like, "Oh no, I can't pay," to a flurry of verbal abuse to scare us into dropping the extra charges. After they paid and left, we burst out laughing, wishing oh so badly, wishing that the hospitality purge thingy could be real. That we get one time a year that we can pepper spray a guest. Hope you all enjoyed, I sure as fuck did, and we made killer money last night, thanks to entitled mother and entitled daughter finally coughing up with the Odas. Thanks for listening. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to The Impractical Proudness of Parents. Ipop, episode 98. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Please do hit that like button. It lets YouTube know that you enjoyed what you just experienced. That sounded weird. But it lets them know you liked the video, which is good. And if you could also share the video around with anyone you think might enjoy it, would be appreciated. And as always, there are Hellfreezer links in the description. I don't know why I always point down when I say that. You can't see me. Okay, let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is... I'm sorry, it's another food one, probably because I'm really hungry. But is there any food that you learned to make yourself that you used to order or buy, and since you've done so, you just never even think of ordering it again? It's like, you know what, I could do it myself and it's good. Like I can make a really good scone, and I'm not bragging when I say that I can make better scones you buy in the store, because quite frankly, homemade are always much better. So it's just not worth the money, because the taste might be kind of okay, but they're always kind of dry, I find, as well. I don't know, it's not good. I think it's better to make it home. And another thing is, I learned years ago to make my own Chinese takeaway style curries. Because I started buying once a year, I'd buy a big tub of goldfish curry sauce, right? Really good curry sauce mix. And I was just very happy compared to the restaurants. It tasted close enough that I was happy. Plus I could tweak it a little more to my own preferences. And then during lockdown, I taught myself how to make chicken chow mein. And once I got the soy sauce ratio measured out, I was very happy with it. So I've never ordered another one since. Things like fish and chips, pizza and all that, I think they're all worth ordering because they're always going to be better when you get them from a place. But those ones I mentioned, very easy to do yourself. So let me know some of your favorites that you would never think about buying because you're always way happier when you make them yourself. I look forward to eating your answers below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.